Hey everyone, Jonathan here with the rotation with Cinco Squad with my pal here, Mike DeSanto, in person for the first time. Of course, we're doing 2 live shows. Why not do it remotely? Mike, how's it going this evening?
It's going all right. Coming to the close of my trip to Florida, and it's been a great time. We had the live show at Maloney's for the NFL draft on Thursday. We got this tonight. In between, we've been chilling, hanging out, having good food, hanging out with good people. And so, it's been a really fun time so far. So I'm excited to close out the trip with the rotation tonight.
Yes, sir. We missed last week. Unfortunately, I was on vacation and was not able to get away to do so. But, it's good to have a little 2-week break, but we can't wait to be back. Actually, Mike and I attended the Marlins and Cubs today, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike's first time at Lone Depot, my 4th time. Mike, what was your thoughts on the park and the atmosphere as it was?
So, there's always talk of the experience probably isn't good with teams that typically aren't very good. Like the Marlins have struggled at times putting roster together, although they do have a good team this year, I think.
Very good.
But Lone Depot Park is amazing. It's well put together. It's a good atmosphere, a very fan-friendly atmosphere, a lot of fun things going on, a lot of energy. It was weird because I'm so used to Yankee Stadium, which is an outdoor ballpark. Right. This is a roofed indoor ballpark. The glass was shut. They can't open them. I talked about that, but it wasn't open today because of inclement weather.
Yeah. Better show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. No, it was a good idea. But I loved it. I loved taking a walk around the park before the game. The atmosphere during play was also really fun. So yeah, I would give it, if I had to rate it out of 10, I would give it probably at least an 8. An 8 out of 10. It was a fun time. It was a fun time. It was a good time.
Well, as you can see, I did my review a couple weeks ago at Lone Depot Park, and it is a great atmosphere. Mike and I sat about 10 rows off home plate. Really great seats. $36, can't beat it.
No.
I know we said on our socials we do our review. I felt like why not do the review now because we're doing the rotation tonight. Throw that in there. But it was a great game. 4-3. Marlins won in the 8th inning off of Arise's long fly out that scored the runner from third. That is a sweep by them. So they take that series against the Cubs. But man, speaking about a series that that's losing lately, what the heck is up with our Yankees, bud? Ultimately, the Yankees have squandered their great series wins with 3 consecutive losses in series. So it's been very tough to watch as a Yankee fan. But I think the biggest thing is their injuries. They can't stay healthy.
Nope.
And is this going to be the course of what's going to come the rest of the season?
I really hope not. What I've been saying has been obviously we can't stop them from getting hurt. So I've just kind of been trying to stay, glass half full type of mentality with okay, if everybody on the team for the Yankees always seems to have, some injury at some point during the year. So if they want to get it out of the way now so that they can be ready for the summer and then into the playoffs, that's great. But it's tough to win games and tough to win series when you're playing with the bench and the AAA team.
Yeah, most of our AAA guys are top guys, top studs. So, you can definitely see that. And Mike is just dropping everything because he's so mad. But, definitely it's been struggle and whatnot. So, I think that's definitely been the key thing is seeing these injuries now. Hopefully it's, for of course, obviously our captain is hurt here and whatnot. So, ultimately, the thing that scares me the most is our pitchers. Our pitchers are going to have to realistically, step it up, and the bullpen's been horrible. Bats have been slow. We lost 15-2 today. But ultimately, the Yankees should come alive here in May. It's first month of baseball is over. So thankfully on that. Been a great month of baseball. Been very. We'll go to our first take here today.
Yeah.
There has been so much in my first take of the day. So if you're just joining us here on our show, what we do is we come here every Sunday, do 5 takes each on what's going on in baseball that week, and what we think are good topics all around the league, right? When it comes down to it, my first take of it is The same theme we have during Cinco Squad every single Thursday. We talk about it with every other sport, and it's going into baseball. The parity of baseball is there. Look at all the teams there. I mean, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates, 20-9, leading the NL Central. You have the Diamondbacks tied for first, leading the NL West. And then you go over. You got Twins, who were supposed to. Now you got the Rangers leading the AL West. And the Rays are 23-6 with Baltimore in second. You know, what are your thoughts on that?
So, yeah, I think it's definitely a big the gap between the good teams and the bad teams this year has definitely closed. And I think it's because there were some teams, mainly the one that comes to mind for me is the Texas Rangers, that just, made the moves they needed to make. Weren't afraid to spend the money. Went and got Jacob deGrom. Last year they went and got last couple of years they've gone to get Corey Seager and Marcus Semien. They got Nathan Eovaldi to shore up that rotation. They have a whole bunch of, and then they've developed a bunch of guys. Adolis Garcia, who was a castaway from, I believe, the Dodgers. And he's become a very good outfielder, a very good power-hitting outfielder for them. So they've got a mix of guys they've developed. They went and filled up the spots they needed to in free agency or through trades, things like that. And these other teams, they're not being as afraid to make moves anymore. The development of prospects, I think, is getting better across the board. The willingness, like I said, to spend and to really get the guys you need and really break down and hone in on the scouting of what you need.
Well, not only that, I think teams are also building up their farm system and allowing them to build. And, one of the things that I've said about the Yankees, that if you're ready to play.
Right.
I hate all the bullshit with baseball. They want to be more up to date with things. Well, all the top prospects in every other sport are getting played. Matty Beniers right now is playing in a conference final game at his rookie year.
Right.
Normally, I mean, if you want to say hockey is similar to baseball when it comes to AHL, yeah, he should be in the AHL developing then. If this was baseball, then Matty Beniers wouldn't have had almost 50 goals this year.
Right.
For Seattle Kraken here. So, not conference final. I'm saying Game 7 of the Western Conference playoffs against the Avalanche. But, I mean, when I look at it, I feel like baseball is still a little bit behind on things. I got to say, though, the pace of the game has been great. I've went to 3 games already this season, and it has looked awesome. Mike and I went today to a noon game, and the noon game, we were done by 2:30 back here cooking dinner and everything. So it was great. We were able to not waste away a whole day at the ballpark. So, Mike, what is your first takeaway? And give me 1 second. Go ahead and say what it is.
Thank you. Actually, my first takeaway kind of goes along with what that was, which was the Pirates finally seem willing to let the team be what it's going to be. They've let their prospects develop and play at that major league level. Actually, their team, I would say, is one of the best examples of what you said, which is just bringing the young guys up and seeing what they've got.
Yeah.
Like Ke'Bryan Hayes is one of the best young infielders in the league, and they're riding the wave of his continual development. He's gotten better every year.
Yeah.
And they got guys like Brian Reynolds, who I believe was their prospect from the game. I believe they drafted him, and he's developed, and they just signed him to a big extension after talking about trading him. And I think that's what really keyed into me the last week or two, was that they signed Brian Reynolds to that extension.
Yeah.
Instead of trading him, they're like, you know what? No, we're committed to having you as our starting center fielder for the future. It's an 8-year extension. So we're not going to trade you. We're going to pay you what you're worth because we think we have a chance to really develop into a good team. And it's working out. They're 20-9.
Yeah.
If I had told you at the beginning of the season that the Pittsburgh Pirates were going to lead the NL Central at 20-9 near the end of April, I guarantee you would have laughed in my face.
No, I would have laughed in your face because ultimately I don't think that the Pirates are that good of a team. And, it's sad because, I'm tired of seeing teams be at the bottom of the league with baseball when it comes down to it. And I like to see competitive games. I don't like seeing 15-2. I like seeing what we saw today, 4-3 games that were really, it was interesting the whole way from inning 1 to all the way to inning 9. Having cool entrances for your closers or your starters or whatever. Yeah. It's just nice to see that type of fandomship. But for me, I agree with you. I mean, it's nice to see the Pittsburgh Pirates up and running. I mean, Hopefully they can sustain this. This is the biggest thing we talk about with baseball. Baseball always there's always teams that start off really, really hot, and then May comes and they hit the May slumps. And then they can't get back up, and then all of a sudden, boom, the teams that's supposed to win the division are now at the top. I mean, if you would have told me at the beginning of the year with the lineup the Yankees have, would they be at the bottom behind Boston? No, I wouldn't have said that. But yeah, I mean, I can see that the Pittsburgh Pirates are definitely playing a lot of great baseball. One of the things I have to give it to them. One of my takes is the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah,
they are dominant right now, from bullpen to starters to hitting to utility guys. They are playing great baseball right now. And I said this in the beginning. I know a lot of people are probably like, "Oh, I remember you saying that we're playing such good teams." I got to give it to them. They are playing good baseball. They are 23-6. Yes, they lost their first series to Toronto here after they went undefeated. But they're playing good ball. 14-2 at home, 9-4 on the road, plus 103 run differential. So, 7-3 in their last 10. I got to hand it to them. And kudos to them, because now they're opening up the second deck, which they haven't done since 2018. And it's really cool to see that fandomship, especially living there for the first 4 years and moving down to Florida.
Right.
It was nice to see them actually show that appreciation and open up. And they're starting to really get a lot of crowds to these games. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah, deservedly so. I think they do definitely deserve the credit. They've earned so far. 23-6 is at the end of April is, no slouch of a record. They've played good ball. They've proven that everybody was wrong when they said that they were going to have trouble scoring. And obviously, they've only given up 92 runs. That's not unexpected for a Rays team. Their pitching staff is usually what carries them. But the bats have been hot, and they've had 1 through 9 and on the bench, and guys they've brought in and stuff like that that have hit really well. And good competition or not, having lost some series now and stuff like that, they're still 7-3 in their last 10, which it's hard to do in baseball. And like we say, it's a long season, so we'll see if they can keep it up. But yeah, definitely credit to the Rays for the start they've gotten off to.
100%. What's your second take there?
My second take,
or third, I think, right?
No, this would be second.
My second was the Rays. Yes.
Your second was the Rays. Kind of flip the script a little bit on it. What the hell happened to the Chicago White Sox?
They lost Jose Abreu.
That shouldn't make that big of a difference.
I mean, apparently it does. I mean, managing, obviously, like we said, every single week that we do this, it's only 1 month.
Right.
There's 5 more months of the season, right? So it's a long freaking season. Right. We're only 29 games into the MLB year. But, yeah, I don't see the White Sox getting any better. I see this continuing throughout the rest of the year. Their starting rotation has been very weak, have not been able to get the bats going. Right. And it's unfortunate. And, is Jose Abreu right? Are they kind of like a dumpster fire in the sense where they just pretty much are not capable of sustaining a good franchise right now,
right?
And unfortunately, their crosstown rival there, the Cubbies, aren't doing any better either today. We watched them play today, and Justin Healing, he had a good game, but he was coming in that game 4-0, 1.19 ERA. Yeah. I would have thought we would have seen a better pitching outing from him, but yeah, I don't see the White Sox getting any better.
Yeah, it's just like you just remember 2 years ago coming out of, the pandemic season, fans getting back in the seats, the White Sox made all these moves and we're continuing to build a strong franchise. And like, okay, the White Sox are poised to, possibly control with the fact that the Tigers fell off. The Guardians were kind of middle of the road where they weren't able to pay all their pitchers. So they weren't keeping the full pitching staff. Like, okay, this is the time that the White Sox will take over the Central. They can handle the Central for the next 5-6 years. And then just, I don't know, they fell off a cliff. And yeah, losing Jose Abreu, but you go and you pay, I believe it was a 5-year, $75 million deal to Andrew Benintendi, steal him away from our Yankees. And he hasn't been able to do too too much to help them win games. I mean,
realistically, I don't think the Yankees were in on Benintendi that much, but it would have been nice to have him now.
Yeah, no, I mean,
with all the
especially now,
injuries.
yeah. But what astounds me is that this White Sox team that had so many, highly touted pitchers, giving up 183 runs in a month is very bad.
Yes.
Being 1-9 in your last 10 games is very bad. It is not like I didn't think the White Sox were going to be, gangbusters winning 100 games this year, but I did not expect it. Only 8 wins to start the year. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any end to losing in sight for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great take, Mike. I mean, ultimately, we when you look at it, we just got to see the White Sox for what they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be a top team this year. They're not, unless they go ahead and get it themselves a starting rotation. They got their guy back that had cancer, and it's awesome that he beat cancer.
Liam Hendricks.
Yeah. Liam Hendricks. It's awesome to see him back, and hopefully that motivates them because if that guy can beat something as terrible as cancer and come back and dominate, hopefully that can spark them.
Yeah.
And whatnot. But yeah, and shout out to Liam Hendricks. That's huge. That's bigger than baseball. Definitely love seeing that. Hats off to him. And beating cancer and fighting for it. And I know all of us have been affected by that, so that's really awesome to hear.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, it's beyond the game. You never like to hear things like that, and you love to hear when they, fight and win.
Right.
And so, yeah, absolutely hearts out. I'm so happy for Liam. I'm so happy for him.
Definitely. My third take is these injuries, and I think I touched on it here earlier with Mr. Judge and the Yankees having a bunch of injuries, but it's not just the Yankees. It's across all baseball. Just to read you off some today. Harper may return here in a 160-day post by TJ for Tommy John surgery, post-Tommy John surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Rangers ace DeGrom goes down with an injury this weekend. Frustrated. The Twins will shut down Molly.
Tyler
Mahle?
Yeah.
Mahle? Yeah. Down for at least 4 weeks. And then you got Yastrzemski?
Mike Yastrzemski, yeah.
Likely IL bound, and then they're going to reevaluate Judge here in a few weeks, or on Monday, actually, for the hip strain. What is going on with baseball players that they're getting hurt so easily and so frequently? It just seems like – so we keep putting this big thing on athletes being so much stronger, faster, better. Are they too stronger, faster, and better for their own bodies?
I really don't.
It's frustrating.
No, it absolutely is frustrating.
Because I see a guy like Giancarlo Stanton who's in incredible shape.
Oh,
and he's always on the IL.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on? The guy works out probably 7 days a week, eats right, does everything he can. And then basically, ultimately, is on the IL most of the year.
Right.
So what is going on?
I wish I had an answer for that because I would let the MLB know if I knew what the problem was. I can't understand what the problem is. And actually, I will say my third one, we'll just tie my third one because that was the big stars there are big stars dropping like flies.
So we're the same one. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think maybe is it part of what you said in the past, what we've talked about in the past about spring training being too long, they're doing too much during spring training, or could it be that and a combination with or outside of the fact that what are these guys doing in the offseason? Yeah. Are they really getting they obviously all of them are going to say they're getting their bodies ready for the season, but are they really getting their bodies ready for the season? That would be something I would look at is both preparation for the season during spring training and then preparation in the offseason when there aren't team mandated things going on. So kind of, is it a team thing or is it a personal thing or is it both?
Yeah.
But whatever it is, the league itself in its entirety, all of its organizations and front office and all that need to figure this out because you want to bring in new fans. You want to bring in the younger fan, the younger crowd that will be fans for a long time and they want excitement. That's why you put all these new rules in. That's why you're really focusing on increasing steals and less time between pitches and all those kinds of things that have all seemed to work to make the game more exciting and, like we said earlier, shorter like we saw today.
Right.
But you also need to have your big stars, your big names playing in these more exciting games.
Yeah, I mean,
you need names people care about.
I mean, people go to the ballpark to watch Aaron Judge,
right?
Unfortunately, some of these, Frankie Cordero. Like, I would love to go see Frankie Cordero, but the Rival fan, Willie Calhoun, we don't want to go see them. They want to see Aaron Judge in the stands or in the field. And unfortunately, I think his was just a mild hip sprain, and I think he'll be back here next weekend. But you're right. It's just frustrating to me to see all these guys, and I don't know if it's that they're not working in the off season. It's how are they getting hurt so easily, and are they really hurt? Our team's just shutting them down to not wear and tear. It's 100. We say this all the time. It's 162 games. There's a way to put them on IL is to say, "Oh yeah, you have a soreness in your arm."
Yeah, just say
just say you're hurt. Like our team's doing that, and it feels like it's happening more and more because it's frustrating to me, to be honest with you.
When it's allowed.
Yeah.
If it's being allowed by the league, why would? From a business perspective and a championship contending perspective, if you feel like you can get by for a while without them, I guess looking at kind of devil's advocate way, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, we'll see what happens here for the rest of the season. Hopefully that we see more of these stars on the field because like today, it was great going to see Dansby Swanson, Cody Bellinger, Jorge Soler, Chaz Chisholm Jr., all those guys out there on the field competing at a high level. It was nice to see that and whatnot. But
I agree. I totally agree.
So that was our third take, or
so I mixed my third one in there. So go with your fourth.
My fourth is the Mexico City game. Are we going to see a team in Mexico City? Because there was a huge fan base at this. And I was reading earlier today. I have it right up in front of me. The Eric Gomez, Mexico writer for ESPN, reading about is it a fair question to say, will there be a team in Mexico City? Do you feel like after this weekend's game, I felt like there was a lot of good baseball. The crowd was into it. They were excited and everything. Will MLB give Mexico a opportunity to have a team in Mexico City?
Honestly, if you had asked me this before the season started, right? Mm-hmm. I may have been partial to the idea that the A's would move there.
I'm going to be surprised.
But now that they've bought the land in Vegas to build the ballpark, it looks like they're headed to Vegas.
Well, there's only 30 teams, right?
Right. So it would expand.
So they would have to go to 32 teams.
They would have to probably go to 32, in which case I would guess if you go to Mexico City, you probably also go to Portland because you put like a regional rival for Seattle. Plus, Portland's got a long history with like independent baseball.
Yeah.
There's a really good documentary about that, by the way, on Netflix. I would suggest it's Kurt Russell's dad started a team out there.
What's it called?
It's called The Battered Bastards of Baseball.
The Battered Bastards of Baseball on Netflix.
On Netflix. Go check that out. It's very good. But yeah, I mean, given the crowd, given the excitement, given, the amount of home runs, they hit 11 home runs in that game.
That's what you were saying, that if you don't know, I mean, Mike was mentioning during the game when we were watching it, that Mexico City sits 2,000 feet.
Roughly 2,000 feet higher above sea level than Colorado.
Which is incredible because Colorado, the ball flies. If you've ever seen Coors Field in Denver, the field is long. Like it's like 380 to the right and left, but the ball it goes farther in that stadium. Mm-hmm. That's basically what we're saying is in this stadium, it flew a lot farther and teams were hitting the ball like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I think it will. I don't think it. I mean, the people love, love baseball down in Mexico City. You should see the fandomship.
Yeah.
They're trying to get a football team down there.
Right.
I think once an NFL team will go there, then Manfred will say yes. I don't think baseball is going to be the first one because they're so old school in their rules and everything. It has to be for the other professional teams, whether it's NBA, NFL. It's got to be one of those two major leagues. But why not? They have great fanship. Any of the games you see on TV, they're hyped, they're excited, even for the other teams. They're like, even if it's another team, they're like, let's go. Like they're screaming their heads off, and it's a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want to give them an MLB team and have them go down there and have that? But and ultimately, we'll see. But it was fun to watch. I mean, it was fun to watch. I'm always against the out-of-country games.
Right.
Not because it's like USA versus all. It's more or less, it's just, I think it takes away, if I'm a season ticket holder for, let's say, football, and you take away, there's only 8 home games, or now 8 or 9 home games.
Right.
I get one of my home games take away, right? So, like, now I'm losing another one. If they have 2 away games, now I get 2 of them gone. Right. So now I'm paying for a full season tickets, and I'm thinking about a business standpoint. As a business standpoint, with a baseball, you got 81 home games. You play one in Mexico City, it's not going to hurt you. You get 80, right? But still, like, as a business standpoint, they probably want to keep most of the games in the season tickets because that's what drives the team is the fans and everything like that. So definitely hope it's up for discussion and not just a squandered no, because I hear it says right here is the MLB answer for now is resolute no, Commissioner Rob Manfred said Monday during a meeting with the Associated Press sports editor that he has never been close to the idea of Mexico as an expansion opportunity. So it's not in the cards right now, but like I said, I think it's going to be ultimately when another major sports league will go there. That's when they will.
Yeah, I agree. And I think on a note of that, I think he would say that no matter if it is or is not, simply because if it doesn't happen, he doesn't have egg on his face. If he had told the Mexico City fans, given the Mexico City fans any hope that they would be getting a team.
Correct.
If it weren't to happen, he's kind of covering his ass.
Yeah. We got some comments here. We got Buckle Up with the Boys, Drew, Billy, and those guys do a great job. I agree with you guys. The Yankees are in a slump. Yes, they are, Drew. It's been tough. And you're Pittsburgh. I think you're a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, but I think they have been playing well. I think you're a Pittsburgh. Correct me if I'm wrong, Drew, here through text or whatnot, but they had a great show. They had a draft night show as well. Had a great time as well. I joked with him saying he didn't have any thunderstorms take out his broadcast. So if you were watching the broadcast on Thursday, we had a little technical difficulties, but that's what you go with our first remote. We were production guys and everything, but thank you for everyone for tuning in and everything. Yes. Anthony, your cousin, Faithful, Mr. Faithful.
Yes.
Congratulations on last night. What a success. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you, all your support and everything you do. Mikey Mike, what is your fourth take of the week?
My fourth take of the week is, so far, the Baltimore Orioles are proving to the rest of the league that last year was not a fluke, that they are actually a now developed and possibly over that bad team slump hill. 19-9, they've been playing really well. They got great players. Ryan, I've been saying for the last 2-3 years, Ryan Mountcastle, their first baseman, is going to be a very good player for a while in this league. He can hit for average. He plays good defense at first. He certainly hits for power. They got Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, Adley Rutschman is going to be. He's the new Buster Posey. Yeah, is what he's turning out to be. Is that just he's got a good glove, good bat, all that.
So is Baltimore winning the East?
No, not yet. Now, I'm given. I think I'm still have glass half full here. I still have faith in the fact that the Yankees can turn it around and play better.
I agree.
They're too good. They have too much talent on the team to not make some noise and get themselves back up.
Agree.
Toronto, I think they're going to be real dangerous as the year goes on. Oh, yeah. Tampa.
Can close a game, can pitch, start a game, it can hit.
Yeah, the only thing I think standing in the way of Baltimore being a playoff team this year is just the division they play in.
Yeah, exactly. If they played in any other division, I think they'd be leading it. Which
they'd win the Central.
Well, right now, looking at it, I mean, now they lead 3/4 of the league or half the league right now.
Exactly. It's just the division they play in, but I'm very excited as someone with Orioles fans in the family who are finally very excited again about their team and about their players. It's nice to hear. I don't really look at obviously they play in the Yankees division. I don't really look at the Royals as like a rival. I want to beat them, obviously, but I don't hate them.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I don't hope they don't succeed otherwise. So I think it's nice for Baltimore to have a team to root for again, starting to feel like it's back in the 90s with Brady Anderson, Cal Ripken Jr. and mid 2000s, Miguel Tejada, Vlad Guerrero. So I'm excited to see what this young Baltimore team can do.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. They got whatchamacallit, the first round pick last year. Forget his name.
Oh, Jackson Holiday. Matt Holiday's son.
He's in the minors right now, coming on up, and hopefully he can see some throw time here in September.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun to see the parity. It brings me back to the early 2000s when AL East was competitive with Boston and Yankee being back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Then you throw Tampa and sometimes Toronto in there. And then sometimes Baltimore would play. It's like this is what we're back to, right?
Right.
My fifth takeaway
is your fifth.
Are the Marlins for real? Like, because watching them today, they got good pitching. They got some good bullpen guys. The one guy came in and we both said he's going to probably give up. And I called a home run today.
He did too. It was
so
crazy.
Cody Bellinger was up. He threw 2 in the dirt, 2-0 count. And all of a sudden I looked at Mike. I said, Bellinger's going to hit a home run. And what did the guy do? Threw a duck over the middle of the plate.
Not
Bellinger.
5 seconds later.
Bellinger, boom, right out of the plate, right out of the park, and it was pretty electric. We were going nuts. We're like, let's go! But are the Marlins for real? They got a great lineup. Mm-hmm. They have a great team. And, are they for real? Like, are they competitive with the Mets and the Braves? Like, the Phillies just seem like they can't get out of their own way right now.
I know.
But that division is all one game. Like, between the Mets and the Phillies, all one game.
Right.
Braves are out in front. Right, so the Braves are playing great baseball. Are the Marlins for real?
I think the Marlins once again are going to have one of those years where they are for real until after the All-Star break.
When they trade people away?
When they trade people away, or when the other teams get people or get people back from injury. I think this Marlins team, the only thing this Marlins team is going to suffer from this year, I think, is lack of depth.
Yes.
They have really good. I love, especially seeing them play it live.
Yeah.
I love seeing guys like Alcantara, Luis Ariz pickup was great. Getting Gene Segura, Jazz Chisholm, guys like that. It's just these other teams have a lot of guys coming out that can come out of the woodwork and get the job done. I think pitching depth is going to be tough for them.
Yeah, their bullpen looks like it's always a wobbly part, and their starters can go 5 innings.
Right.
I think, but I think their bullpen, their middle guys, and then they have Puck.
AJ Puck, yeah.
AJ Puck in the bullpen, he had a cool intro coming in.
That was great.
Michael was like, "What happened to the lights?" The lights go down. They have a good song. He comes out and runs down from the bullpen. It's pretty cool. That's the second game I've seen that he's done that. But I mean, it's definitely interesting to see them. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, I'm living in Miami here, and I'm hoping for the best for them because I think it'd be cool to see them succeed, go see some playoff games, those type of things. But they got a deep lineup, but I think you're exactly right. Their depth, beyond the starting lineup, and then ultimately their middle guys between them are struggling. So, what's your fifth take?
So my fifth take is we kind of round off another episode of the rotation. Very excited to be back with the rotation. Always love talking baseball.
And first time in person.
Which is awesome. Again, this is a great way to I fly out again tomorrow morning, but I'm really excited to be able to close off my trip with this. So my last one is kind of going back to that AL Central. It is going to be
AL type of night for you, huh?
AL type of night for me. It's going to be a long road for the Kansas City Royals. It is going to be. They are not good. They're obviously the Royals are always kind of one of those teams that 2-3 years they're really great.
Yeah.
Then they lose everybody and they're really bad. But we might be hitting about rock bottom for this Royals franchise again. Now, last time we hit rock bottom, they got guys like Alex Gordon, Eric Hosmer, Whit Merrifield, Lorenzo Cain, and then they went to 2 straight World Series and won one of them.
Right.
So there is an upswing to this, obviously. There's peaks and valleys for every franchise. It's just right now it just seems like
but as a franchise, do you like having those peaks and valleys, or do you like having kind of more consistency?
Exactly.
It's like if I'm in contention every year, it's great. But if I'm up and down, and we saw the Detroit Tigers, they had like maybe they said like 11,000 people at their game, but there could have been more than 500.
Oh well, not at all.
In the afternoon game against
they counted all the workers too.
They had to have like it just was it's bad, and I don't know how teams can sit here and continue to trade away guys and do that type of thing. I understand it's hurting payroll, but like, damn, like how are you not prepared for the future? How do you not plan for the future? And maybe they are planning for the future, right? It's all a guessing game if a player is going to come out and be great. Like I always mentioned in Moneyball, I love that movie, but he always says you don't know because you don't know. You don't know who a player is going to be,
right?
And you can't guess. You can have a good prediction, like Jackson Holiday, great player, came out of Vanderbilt. No, he went to high school.
No, he went to high school. Yeah, I think he was committed to Vanderbilt if he didn't get selected.
So he comes out and doesn't even go to college, and who knows? He may flop. I mean, with his dad's work ethic and everything, he may flop. But who knows? I mean, but I think that with the Kansas City Royals, they need to do something. They need to trade Perez.
You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win with Salvi at this point. So just
let him go get it with the team if he wants. I don't think he wants to.
I think he likes being a Royal.
I think he wants to retire Royal. I think this is his final year ultimately. But yeah, I think that's a good way to for him to ultimately go out as champion and go to some team that needs a catcher,
right?
And whatnot.
I agree. Case in point to that point of your point you make of like the franchise not planning for the future and not maybe fans not being happy with it. The Royals have played 13 home games so far this year. They have won one home win so far this year. If I'm a Royals fan, why would I buy tickets if I think they're going to lose?
Why would I buy season tickets?
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, I think I have confidence that the Royals will complete that long road back at some point. Hopefully. But I apologize on behalf of the baseball world, Kansas City fans. I apologize for the dark part of the road.
Dark 5 years you got going on right now. So hopefully you get some draft picks.
I hope so.
Well, everyone, this is week 3 of the rotation. The first month of the baseball season complete. I'm Jonathan Sawyer. This is Mike DeSanto. We are going to be here every single week. Sorry about missing last week. Was on vacation, couldn't get away, but we're going to be here every week going through the MLB season. Feel free to comment. Let us know what you guys think of the show. Any ideas, we're happy to take on. And, if anyone wants to be a guest on the show, please feel free to inquire through our email. We will put it here in the bio at cincosquadpod@gmail.com. Love to have more baseball talk, more baseball fans come on the show. But yeah, we'll see you guys here next week. Mike, got any final thoughts?
Yeah, 1 month down. It's been a
5 months to go.
5 months to go, and then the playoffs.
Right.
But yeah, after the first month, this is gonna get real interesting.
Very interesting.
I'm excited.
And make sure you tune in Thursday for episode 57 of Cinco Squad, where the boys will be talking NBA, NHL, and of course MLB. So make sure you tune in. We'll see you guys here next week on the rotation.